In a sea of games full of ghosts, there is one never really brought up, and frightfully so. We've done everything with ghosts. Vacuumed them up to save a brother, we've busted them, eaten them, and even been through covert operations as a ghost. But how about becoming the ghost? Well, there is just the arcade machine for that, and it was released by Jaleco. Avenging Spirit is one of those games that's just lost to the ether, due to it never receiving a proper arcade port. Sure, there was a port for the Game Boy, which is actually quite loyal to what the gameplay is, but even that's obscure.
So, I actually learned about this game in a certain book I picked up at Retro World Expo. It's called Game Culture Chronicles 1991. And basically what the book does is it goes through the year and kind of notes some of the games that make the industry what it is today. Not to mention the battle between Nintendo and Sega really starts to heat up, and Sega, takes a really risky marketing campaign out against them. The original Street Fighter II was launched, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time reared its head from the shell. Then there were games that flew kind of under the radar, and honestly, those were most of the games that are noted in this book, and a lot of them caught my attention, so I'm going to be doing some reviews of them later on. But right now we're talking about this game, and we're just going to jump right into the review. Avenging Spirit has a weird story. Well, on a walk with your girlfriend, the couple get ambushed by a mysterious crime syndicate. The player is murdered in cold blood, and the girlfriend gets kidnapped. So, you play as the angry spirit called upon by her father, the scientist. His daughter was held for ransom. The price? Information on harnessing ghost energy. So he abuses that power to ask for help to save her, even though he notes you only have limited energy. It's typical of most scientists to be heartless and only care about their own interests. Right when we gain control of the game, you have the choice of 4 bodies to invade. Each one has unique attacks as well as different styles of movement. Some fall faster, and others will just straight up float. The ninja controls weird. When holding the jump button, he'll slowly float up, but the second you let go, he'll drop like a sack of bricks. Then, some attacks are just horrible. The Snow Lady throws snowballs and is only allowed 4 on screen at a time, and they move awfully slow, so this leaves her open for a barrage of attacks. Spamming isn't really suggested. Okay, so after wiggling your way into a body, we move on. The game starts up kinda slow and eases you into the gameplay. They don't want to take all your money right away, because remember, this is an arcade game. Instead, it makes you start to enjoy it and gets you invested in its wonder. The wonder of what other type of powers you could find later in the game. There are a ton of people ready to do your bidding. Every time I took control over someone else, it was my new favorite character. A good part of the enemies are just reskins of one another, but some do have different attacks. The soldiers are a good example. One of them plays and controls just like a Metal Slug character. Well, they both look like they were ripped right out of that game. And the other just kind of lobs hand grenades. But what the hell are these guys doing running around in a city ready to slay? Even the ninjas attack differently. One throws shurikens and the other swings around a ball and chain like that crazy chick from Kill Bill. Then there are some of the zany ones, like a vampire, in his underwear. Some old guy who can't let go of the glory days of playing baseball. And even a friggin' fire-breathing dragon. How cool is that? The stages themselves are big and rich in detail, as arcade games from the 90s often were. Stage design, on the other hand, has you doing a ton of platform jumping. They have you traveling in all directions, trying to navigate through the hellfire that your soon-to-be abductees lay down. The enemies are always set up in the right spot to give you maximum trouble. A later stage in the game is a huge maze that will have you doing a ton of backtracking. and all the enemies respawn the second they scroll off the screen, Ninja Gaiden style. So trying to find all the keys becomes more tedious than it should be. Making it to the end of the 6 stages, you fight one of the various bosses. The first boss can be found inside the Garbage Garden. It's the giant snake mini-boss reformed from Mega Man 3. So this is where all those scraps went. And another boss later in the game is a snake. What's with all the snake bosses? The real mission isn't just to make it to the end, but to collect the 3 keys scattered throughout the game. My first time playing through this, I kind of ignored that to see what would happen. Honestly, it led to a rather somber ending. One where you fail to save the girl and your energy fades before leaving this realm. To get the good ending, obviously you have to collect all 3 keys in the game in order to open the door at the end. This is where the game becomes hard. The amount of enemies will really start to suck up quarters, trying to search the corners of all the environments. Once you do collect them and open the door, the ghost possesses the girl and they break free. Running through the end of the final stage, you finish off the boss, and this will lead to a different set of cutscenes. The girl is set free, but the ghost still fades away. The music is still super sad, and it hits you right in the feels. That alone made it worth going back through to play the game a few times. In closing, Avenging Spirit was a ton of fun to play, and it was really charming, honestly. Now, like I said, the game is kind of like just on the arcade or the Game Boy, but from what I'm reading, there are ports of it for the iOS, I guess, which is an arcade version, but I mean, how much fun could that really be playing the game on your phone screen? And then there also is, like, you know, the Game Boy port, which is really good, but like I said, it's obscure, so it goes like $50 loose or something like that. But if you guys do have a 3DS, it actually is on the Virtual Console shop, so you can pick up the Game Boy version there. I think it's like $4 or something like that, and it's worth it because, like I said, they're both really good. They're both really good games. They're both really playable. The Game Boy version isn't bad or anything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much my review for Avenging Spirit. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Rewind Mike, and thank you very much for watching.